Tri-City Sports Now, I'm Marky Bilson. SoCon John Hooper will join me bottom of the hour, and there's still a lot of Southern Conference news to talk about. You've got the new basketball coach at Wofford. I think I called him Jeff earlier, and as a matter of fact, it is Jay McCauley. Forgive me. We've got the new, we got the commissioner search. It's going on. We've got spring practice, and I was at ETSU. Told you a little bit about it before. Stay tuned. We'll reiterate what I saw, some players that impressed me, and also I think maybe the story of spring practice is that Jared Folks is coming back for one more year for ETSU. People didn't see that coming. They thought that his eligibility was up. He's coming back, and that's big time for ETSU football. Frankly, I thought ETSU football was looking at regression. I thought, okay, it goes 6-5. That's be a good thing. New quarterback. Hey, really the wide receivers aren't there. You know, what's Quay Holmes how's he gonna handle being the next Ernest Miner? You know, that sort of thing. New kicker. You know, certainly ETSU was touched by an angel in so many of their games last year. But now, you know, with arguably the star of the defense, certainly the one with the biggest pedigree, since he had played in the American, Folks, there you go. That's big and all that. Of course, tomorrow we'll talk to Caleb Calhoun of All for Tennessee about the Vols spring practice and what they have. Jeremy Pruitt has called out his offensive line, which is surprising because it could theoretically have five-star players on it, which might just tell you what you should know about recruiting rankings. You know, he's a 5-star player, never plays, you know, that sort of thing. Go back to Rivals dating back to 2001. See the top player in every recruiting class. And I mean the number one. And I mean, there's some, Adrian Peterson. There are a lot of guys who aren't the best football player of the year. Let's put it that way. Now, tonight at 5:30, by the way, you will hear a pretty big softball game. It's Unicoi County and David Crockett, and they'll be taking on each other. You can either listen to 1420 WEMB Sports Radio or jetbroadcasting.live. Put a www before jetbroadcasting.live, and you'll be able to listen online, be it your tower computer, your laptop, your iPad, your iPhone, your Android phone. You know what I'm talking about here. You'll be able to hear the ball game clear as a bell. Kevin Powers will call it. 2 first-place teams in 1-3A and 1-2A. The Pioneers of David Crockett, of course, 1-3A, 1-2A is Unicoi County. They have yet to lose in the conference. Non-conference game, but a real gauge to see who the better team is. And just, is Unicoi County. I know they're defeated by Science Hill, who's battling for the 1-3A crown against Science Hill. But against David Crockett, it's Science Hill and David Crockett. But see how they go. It's a gauge. If Unicoi County can win this game, even with that loss to Science Hill, it's a close loss. So, state championship contenders. Now that might be asking a bit much, but they are in first place and haven't lost a game in the what they call Three Rivers Conference, aside from the Big Seven that David Crockett and Science Hill plays in. Ball game's going to be brought to you by these sponsors. Irwin's favorite dentist, Dr. Jason Cunningham. Unicoi County Gas Utility District, Health and Home Care of Irwin. Unicoi County Insurance Agency, the Computer Guy of Irwin. Irwin Utilities, Irwin Paint Body Shop, Litchfield Federal Credit Union, Jones and Church Farms, Relay for Life of Unicoi County, and Jones Hardware. There you go. I told you before we broke, you want to get some more SEC. There's actually now, by the way, some talk about, how good is Tagovailoa? How good is Tua? Tagovailoa. I think I got that down now, that name. But Drew Lock is going to go to the NFL. Maybe the first quarterback taken. Kyler Murray, the Cardinals. I still don't see that. I got to tell you, I think that, yeah, the Cardinals are the Cardinals. And, who should we make our head coach? Let's get the guy Texas Tech fired. Okay, yeah, that'll be good. And now, I drafted a quarterback #1 last year. Let's get the Heisman winner. I don't get it, but actually I do get it. That Cliff Kingsbury is an offensive genius, even if he was fired by Texas Tech. Actually, I think that there's a lot of similarities between Kingsbury and Mike Tomlin. Hopefully, Kingsbury will not say, where's the rap sheet? Yes, was he arrested? Bring him in. What? He spent several years in Leavenworth? Make him the backup quarterback, which is what it seems almost Tomlin wants to try to do when he gets players. What kind of a diva is he? I don't care if he can play. That's just a side point of the deal, And so, regardless, hopefully Kingsbury isn't that way. But other than that, I have mentioned guys whose background were sort of head scratchers. Wait a minute, the Steelers hired a 7-9 defensive coordinator? But they're young and good looking and, speak well. So, we'll see. Then again, even with my criticisms of Kingsbury, you would certainly, if you're a Cardinals fan, if you're the one Cardinals fan in the Tri-Cities or something, if you've moved from Phoenix, that you'd have to believe that you'd love to have, a Super Bowl and no losing seasons for a while and all that. If you get the kind of production, it's just that it is kind of underachieving, as good as the record may look overall. Tomlin's sort of like Holly Warlick. Just put it that way. And I like Holly Warlick, but I don't like Mike Tomlin. Actually, the difference is I think Warlick was put in a position to fail, whereas Tomlin was given every benefit to succeed. Kind of the same production. All right. Let us talk a little bit, though. Drew Lock, the former Missouri quarterback. Last question Butch Jones ever announced, or ever gave, last in a press conference. He said he thinks that Drew Lock will be playing in the NFL. So he'll be a prophet, okay? Anyway, Drew Lock has come out. There's been a lot of talk. Missouri is looking at a probation. It is being appealed, and I think they do have a good chance at appealing it. But still, Missouri also is a real dark horse in the SEC East this year. We did a best-case scenario, and 10-2. They've got a great offensive line, and don't forget they've got the old Clemson quarterback who led the Tigers to the college football playoff coming in. But there is the idea of trying to poach players. Tennessee was accused of this. Hey, if Jeremy Pruitt doesn't like his offensive line, Missouri's is going to be real good this year. So, there you go. But Drew Lock is voicing his own thoughts on the attempted poaching of several Mizzou seniors. I know there was the opportunity for people to leave, and people were definitely calling him, trying to get everybody to come to their school. But I think that just shows what they think of the university. If you're calling and trying to steal players, you're probably pretty nervous of Missouri. If they can keep everybody together, they ought to be decent. Good. That speaks a lot for this place. I'm excited to kind of watch as an outsider this year and pull for a team again. Barry Odom, the head coach, singled out Tennessee. So Drew Lock taking a shot. They try to say Steve Spurrier took a shot at Tennessee when he says something like, my most wonderful memory field, it was winning a state championship at Science Hill. I don't see how that's in any way a slight to Tennessee. This is. Yeah, when you're saying, hey, and it's pretty well known, Tennessee would like some of those Missouri linemen. And when Drew Lock is saying, hey, what does it say about your school? What does it say about ours that they're sticking forward? Remember the hierarchy, the new hierarchy of the SEC. It's Florida and Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Missouri. Oh, they're really tied together. And then you have Vanderbilt and Kentucky at the bottom, although, they're even better than before. TV money, it's really making a lot of parity in the SEC, and a lot of it depends then on where the players are. And the players are in Florida, and the players are in Georgia, and the players are in Louisiana, and the players not so much in Tennessee. Per capita, they're in Mississippi. South Carolina also producing some guys. Tennessee, not Missouri and Tennessee, about the same. Tennessee putting out a few more, but the thing is, Vols, they still got to compete with Vandy, MTSU, and Missouri about such things. I have not gotten to the hockey playoffs yet. Of course, Sidney Crosby has been held without a point against the Islanders. That's why the Penguins are down 3-0 to the Islanders. Remember, it was the toughest series for me to pick, but I said, you know what? I am going with the Islanders just because they got Barry Trotz, and the Penguins are still trying to figure out what to do with their lines. You got commentators saying, okay, they got to get Malkin and Crosby together up there as much as possible. Yeah, they're two second-line centers. Come on here. You know, how's that going to work out and such? But the big story also, and I do think that it is part too many teams, you know, this is what happens when you put so many teams into a playoff, be it the NFL, be it the NHL, or the NBA, or the NCAA tournament, where you get an 8th place team, like the Predators were 2 years ago, knocking off what should have been a rather historic and championship squad with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh yeah, that President's Trophy jinx. Tri-City Sports Now, SoCon John Hooper next.